Hey Barristers, I'm Benji.
And I'm Jocelyn.
Welcome to the first episode of the 33rd season of Campus News, catching you up on the latest happenings at John Marshall High School and its surrounding communities.
So we're here. We made it. We got in the door. We got our masks on. And it's not perfect, but we're making it happen.
That's right. We hope that these first few weeks of school have let you properly readjust to in-person learning and welcome those who have stepped foot on our campus for the first time this school year.
Our freshmen and sophomores aren't the only fresh faces on campus. Let's take a moment to meet some of the new members of the Marshall family.
Hello, Marshall Barristers. I'm Brooke Howard, and today in this segment of Campus News, we are here introducing our new teachers to the campus.
Hi, Barrister Nation. My name is Mr. Brian Pfeffer. I'm really happy to be here today. I am a new member of the English department. I have some sophomore honors English classes. I have an American Lit class for juniors, and I have some Expo composition classes. And I'm really happy to be here. I just want to let you know what a pleasure it is to be here with you today, Brooke, and what a pleasure it's been to be part of the Barrister family so far.
That's amazing. Thank you, Mr. Pfeffer. We're here at Campus News. We're greatly appreciated.
When Campus News asks for an interview, what options do I have?
How could you say no?
You can't say no.
You can't.
Yeah.
If you could teach your class about a guilty pleasure of yours, what would it be?
Mr. Pfeffer doesn't really have a lot of boundaries around food, especially chips and sweets. I've been observed by friends and loved ones eating chips at such a clip that it's almost like a trance state. Health and Binging 101 with Mr. Pfeffer.
If you could describe yourself in 3 words, what would those 3 words be?
Obstacles are opportunities.
And why do you say that?
And this is getting easier as I age, to frame things that happen to me in an optimistic way. And I think that anytime something adverse, something bad, something challenging, something frustrating, or just something new happens to a person, the first instinct could be to look at it as, why is this happening to me? But when I say obstacles are opportunities, put on my optimism, okay, how can I grow from this? But it's one of my mantras that centers me when I feel off-center.
What drew you to come here to John Marshall High School? What stood out to you from the rest of the schools in LAUSD?
Marshall is a tremendous public service to the local community here in 90027. You know, when I drive to Trader Joe's in Gelson's with my daughter, I pass Marshall, and for years I always would say, I wonder what it's like. I wonder what it would be like to work there. I wonder what it would be like to walk to work as I'm commuting 3 hours a day and leaving the house before my wife and daughter even wake up. And my wife and daughter, I guess they understood, and then it was time to make a change.
Hi, I'm Donovan Wagoner, interviewing for Campus News.
Hi, I'm Juan Fuentes. I'm one of the new assistant principals here.
How did you get to Marshall? What did you do before this?
Prior to this, I was an assistant principal at Sotomayor Arts and Science Magnet. And then right before that, I was an administrator in human resources, where I was in charge of hiring and recruiting teachers. And I was a teacher instructional coach at Roybal Learning Center and at Fremont High School.
Why did you get into education?
Sort of like a lot of the students here, so I was identified gifted really early on in elementary, and I loved it. It was great in elementary school. It was very independent. As I moved on and I got to high school, where it got more restricted, where you have to take all these classes, I felt really confined and I wasn't learning much. Some teachers were great, others were not. I ended up ditching a lot, but then I would go ditch to go learn on my own. I was able to test out a lot of classes towards the end. I had to work really hard to graduate. And then I went on into the military, so I was in the Army. So I specialized in armored warfare, so tanks and things of that nature. I really loved the teaching component, and I thought about how I didn't always have the best teachers, so I wanted to come back and teach again in my community.
So you think your experience here at Marshall has been good so far?
Everyone's been really welcoming. The students are really cool. I like hanging out with them, talking to them, and I'm really interested in getting to know most of the clubs that are here.
What do you think you could bring to the community?
I really wanted to come to Marshall because I live in the community. So I live in Atwater. My kids are going to come here. Like a lot of the faculty, they bring their kids here. I want to be part of that fabric, right? The school, Marshall, is one of the bedrocks of the community. If you wear a Marshall shirt and you walk around, everyone will be like, I went to Marshall in 1982. I'm sure you guys have experienced it.
You mentioned that you were a part of the community in Atwater. Do you have a favorite food spot?
Locally here, Rick's is our go-to comfort food. If I want a breakfast burrito, there's a spot right on Glendale Boulevard, right next to where the old bird shop is. Coral Reef for Chinese food because it's classic, it's right there.
Do you have any goals during this year or particularly this semester?
it's a lot about getting to learn the school community. So getting to know the students, kind of how they act, how they interact with adults, getting a feel for the teachers. When you're new to school, it's best to kind of get a feel for what the culture is before you start to think like, I'm going to change this or do that.
In other news, our school hosted several major events near the senior course last month, including Club Rush, where students got the chance to see what all the clubs have to offer.
We also had our first Say Hey Day of the year, where students played games and were encouraged to meet new people after a long period of social isolation. Here's a recap on what happened at both events.
And what's your job, Suki?
My job is to make everybody happy.
Hi, I'm Bells. My pronouns are they, them. I'm a senior. I'm the president of the GSA, and I'm the MC of today's Say Hey Day. The Wellness Advisory wanted to bring this back because we know that the whole year online, year and a half online, really was so difficult for everyone, mentally, physically. It was just exhausting. And so we wanted to kind of bring everyone together, reacquaint everyone, meet new people.
Well, it makes me really proud because we're one of the only schools in the whole United States that does this every month, and this is our first one. So one of the reasons to do this is to get people to be more friendly with each other and to say hello to people they don't know. And you know, the ultimate goal is not just do it on Say Hey Day, but every day walk up to somebody you don't know and just say hello. We want everybody on our campus to feel welcome on the campus.
All right, Mr. Finn, what do you think about this year's Battle of the Bands?
You know, it's just great in so many ways to be back on campus this year, and the Battle of the Garage Bands is going to be fantastic.
This is the orchestra accompanied by a band from my music, my harmony class is called now, my Period 5 Harmony, which is really rock band.
I play electric and upright bass.
What about you?
I sing and play guitar.
And we're going to rock out.
The final will be at the Greek Theater in May, so it's going to be an awesome program. I can't wait to get started with that.
So Jocelyn, did you find any clubs that caught your interest?
Yeah, Benji, I was pretty interested in the self-care club because I like taking time to take care of myself.
Sounds great. Now a cautionary tale for those who dare to wear their mask incorrectly on the Marshall campus.
Hey, you're not supposed to be wearing your mask that way.
So what?
The way you're wearing it doesn't work.
I don't care.
Well, you should.
What are you gonna do about it?
In other news, last month, Marshall's football team won a game against Hollywood High School.
Let's see how that 68-0 blowout happened.
September 10th was an amazing day for our boys in blue. Our barristers played at home against the Hollywood Sheiks with our cheerleaders getting us excited and our crowd supporting our boys and girls on.
Touchdown.
Marshall was able to kick the Sheiks back to Hollywood, whooping them with a big 68-0, bringing that big, beautiful W home. Shout out to William Lopez for breaking records against Hollywood with 123 yards, 4 touchdowns, and a 30-yard punt return for a touchdown in a single game.
I just want to thank my coaches and all of my teammates and my parents for supporting me. And let's go, Marshall!
Also shout out to our hard-playing barristers really showing who's boss. Going home with an amazing win in our hearts, our boys and girl had our crew at Campus News a little bit excited as well, with Brooke doing her victory dance.
1, 2, 3, Let's go! Interception at the end of the game. Interception at the end of the game. I got it.